All right, welcome everyone to the first ever and maybe the only ever WV Sports Nation Summer Special. I'm your host, Jonathan Edwards. I'm the editor in chief for WVSportsNation.com. I'm joined by all but one of our main staff writers, one of our columnists on vacation. Terrible service. I'm sure that's the only reason. But again, I've got a whole panel with me, six of us in total here. Big shout out to Santana in the back helping us out. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and go around the horn and introduce everyone. We're going to start with Trent Connor. He's one of our staff writers. Quinn Roby, Logan Powell, Brendan Statler, and John Bogus, all on standby. We're about to talk about everything that we just got done with a crazy spring, probably the best spring in the history of the athletics program at WVU. We have a big summer still going on, even without anything really happening. I mean, we still got plenty to talk about. Brendan, you were in Omaha as well for us. You were our top guy there. Great job covering that all around. Talk to us about that for a second. Share with the viewers what your spring was like, especially that week in Omaha.
It was the opportunity of a lifetime, to put it. The best way I could put it. It was surreal being there from the time I got there. It was, you watch the College World Series so many times at home, and when you're actually there, it's just you almost can't believe it. It was a crazy atmosphere. Mountaineer Nation was out in full force. Although the season ended, the way we necessarily wouldn't have wanted it to with the loss of North Carolina, still won the Jello Shot Challenge, and that was fun covering that out there. It was just a truly great atmosphere, talking to not only Mountaineer fans but other fans that were there representing their schools as well. So it was a very, very fun time out there.
Yeah, it was. It's crazy that we got to send someone out there. We're just over a year and a half into this now, and we got to do that. We sent Logan out to Arizona for the Big 12 tournament. We sent Santana and Trent out to Kansas City for the women's basketball tournament. I'm sure we're going to have more, maybe with some football travel as well coming up. But speaking on, baseball kind of wrap things up on that. We'll go around the horn talking about, what a spring it was from baseball to basketball on both ends. Pretty much every team had some success in some form, even down to track and field. We'll start with Trent and go around. This spring, pretty special.
Yeah, the best moment for me was, like you said, going to Kansas City, talking or following the women's team in the Big 12 tournament. They really got their get back on TCU, who beat them by a buzzer beater earlier in the season, regular season. They beat them in the championship, and they really limited Olivia Miles. And going into the tournament, they hosted first round and second round games. They weren't able to pull it out against Kentucky, but I think it meant a lot for the state as a whole, and especially just for women's basketball in the state. It really did a lot to push the game forward. Selling out two crowds, it goes a lot and means a lot, not only to the state but to the women's program as a whole. That they earned those sellout crowds. They weren't just given those sellout crowds, and the state noticed what they accomplished this season. I think that was a very important moment.
Logan?
Yeah, I mean, the women's team has been on a meteoric rise over the past couple years. Kellogg coming in has been one of the best hires athletic director Ren Baker's ever made. Just another successful notch on his resume as an athletic director. But yeah, the women's team has consistently been one of the better teams in the whole nation the past 3 or 4 years. And now you're at the point where this women's team is elite and one of those teams that year in and year out is going to be a team to watch for, especially in a stacked Big 12 where there are a ton of good teams. Trent mentioned TCU, Baylor, just a lot of good teams in the Big 12, but WVU has cemented themselves as one of those teams. And then on the men's side, they didn't necessarily have the best regular season. However, the Big 12 is arguably top down the best conference in college men's basketball, and they competed in each game. And it was the first year under Ross Hodge after years of turmoil, coach in, coach out, DeVries after 1 year. Hodge was able to come in the first year and really set the tone and the foundation for what you can expect out of this team. And then ending it with winning at the Crown, that was great for NIL. That was great for just overall coverage of the team. And now going into it, you got Miles Sadler, who's going to be day one one of the best point guards in the Big 12, 5-star freshman coming in, one of the best players in the travel basketball circuit. I'm really excited to watch him. Some really good transfer players as well on this team. I really do think this men's team is going to have a much better season. So overall, on the hard court, some really good, fun seasons, and then also baseball. Nothing more can be said about that. Just precedented season, and just really exciting overall for West Virginia in terms of athletics in the spring term.
Yeah, John, you're more recent to joining us, but you've been following it for a while. And, we went to grad school together, and you're wrapping that up. Talk about this spring. I mean, I know you haven't followed it as closely as some of us, but you caught the back end of it, especially in baseball. Where do you think the spring programs, I mean, we're going to get to fall in a second. Where do you think those programs are projecting for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all doing very good. As you mentioned, I haven't been around for too long, but golf was one of the teams that I really got to do some coverage on here towards the end of the athletics term. And it was a pretty historic season for the golf team as well, getting to go represent in the Morena Regionals. And it was very fun to follow along with that. I've never really covered golf before, but kind of getting to learn more about that sport and seeing what WVU did. I mean, it wasn't the best first day for them, but they really improved in their second and third days to where they gave it a good effort to trying to make it to the championships. But overall, it seems like golf has a good program. Some of those golfers should be returning to the team next year with a few freshman additions. So hopefully it'll be on the rise to get back where it was this season. And overall, I mean, baseball, as everyone else was saying, it was a very fun sport to cover. Very grateful that in my first time writing on WVU Baseball, there was a lot of postseason coverage to cover. I didn't get to do too much, but there was still a lot of opportunity. I love getting to write articles that allow me to do a ton of research. So getting to do that one article, kind of researching all of the teams that were in the World Series and not just WVU, and kind of getting historical context for everyone was really great. And I hope this time next year, WVU Baseball will be off to another great start.
Yeah, I agree. And, we didn't even mention, I mean, WVU Rifle went back-to-back national titles. I mean, it may not be a sport to some places, but, I mean, WVU is the best at it, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Track and field, three representatives at NCAA outdoor championships. Had some coverage on that. I want to turn now to our series breakdowns, especially in the summer. Now, some of these run a little beyond summer. Some of them are year-round, like our columns, but we have a lot of stuff getting us through the dead month, especially July. Now June after baseball, and while we wait for fall camp to start for baseball. But I do want to we'll talk about all of our series going on. I'll have to fill in on a few, but I want to start. I have two going on. I have my my weekly column, the Edwards editorial. We talk about anything and everything. Again, today was a bit of a controversial one, I guess, with everything going on the men's basketball side of things outside of our, that's worth another special on its own right. But still in the early stages of that. Quinn's doing a great job of covering that up to the date. But that was just a bit of a dancing around the legal terms, at least. We talked about that in the editorial. But Tail of the Tape in its second year now, going week by week every Friday, talking about WV football opponents. We just finished up Oklahoma State, which is the Big 12 opener. So we'll have that every Friday afternoon leading up to the week before the season. I know Mitch isn't on here, but Mitch, please. Yes, that is FCC safe. Not that we're going on air, but anyways, that's his column. That was our first column, and he has a way with words. We'll put it that way. He's very opinionated, but that's what it's made for, and he's usually pretty spot on. So be sure to check that out. We usually run those on Fridays as well. Sometimes it shifts a little bit, but usually Edwards editorial on Sunday, and then 2 days before that, Mitch, please. I do want to get to 30 days, 30 players. This is a bit of a social campaign too. Trent, you're kind of heading this up. We're picking a player every day for the month of July, and every 5 days we're also updating on the website, but this is more of our social thing. So if you want to talk about that for a minute, talk about we've gotten through the first 5, 30 through 26. If you want to talk about how that's going and what to expect and where you can see it.
Yeah, so we're counting down the top 30 players all time in West Virginia football history over the month of July, one per day. So far, number 30, Anthony Becht; 29, David Sills; 28, Zach Frazier; 27, Canute Curtis; and 26 happened today, Grant Wiley. Our writers collaborated and put together a list of who we thought were the top 30 players all time. But it's a list. Not everyone agrees, and that's kind of the point of the list. We want engagement from you guys, the fans, because without the fans, West Virginia football wouldn't exist. So definitely comment who you guys think should be number one. Top five. We want your guys' opinions, and definitely check out. We're on all socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, Threads, West Virginia Sports Nation everywhere. And yeah, definitely weigh in and give us your feedback on the list.
Yeah, and we'll be having, again, every 5 days on the website, we'll be doing an update, and it'll kind of accrue. So you'll see the same things from the previous article on top, plus new information, and then at the end of the month, you'll get everyone. To our next one, one of that we just started last week. Don't know how far this is going to run, probably through, I don't know when exactly the summer and minor league schedules wrap up, usually early September, I think. We're doing Around the Farm. This is John Boggs' brainchild. Very intense research needed for this one, John. But tell us about what all you're looking forward to doing. We just got our first one up, and what you plan to do with Around the Farm for baseball.
Yeah, I'm a huge baseball fan. Been watching a lot of baseball ever since my mom and I went to an MLB game a few years ago, and we've now been to 13 different MLB stadiums together. So we really enjoy baseball. So getting that opportunity to center my summer series around baseball was something I really wanted to do. And something that I felt was necessary to highlight is how the WVU players in the summer leagues and how the players in the minor leagues are doing, because it doesn't get a lot of coverage. I mean, I'm doing a lot of research to try and figure out what all everyone's doing, and I mean, it's just something I think people should know about what our former and current Mountaineers are doing, how they're preparing themselves to try and make a run for Major League Baseball. And there's a few people in the minor league system that are at the AAA level currently. So, I mean, I definitely want to look into them a lot and try and hopefully track them until they make it to the major leagues. I think there's only one player in AA currently, and then there's quite a few between single and high A. So there's a lot that can be covered through it. Seeing how they progress and who's doing the best is obviously what I'm trying to track. So I'm going to try and name a Mountaineer Summer League player and a Mountaineer Minor League player of the week every week, just to kind of track who's doing the best, who has the best chances of continuing to move up, and trying to keep kind of like a comprehensive list of where everyone is. There is one on WVU Athletics website, but after doing a little bit of research, there was a couple things that weren't quite up to date. So just overall trying to figure out where everyone is and let everyone know that information as well.
Yeah, this is something I've wanted to do. We didn't get to do it last summer, but I'm glad we now have someone that can do it. Yeah, a lot of baseball still being played throughout the summer, some even in Morgantown. And again, you can read all that in the first edition of Around the Farm up on WVSportsNation.com. But now we've kind of talked about all of our spring stuff, what's going on this summer. Our last series, though, Logan has his position reviews. We kind of tried it out last fall, but now we're doing it in the summer leading up, so we have more time. And rosters aren't set yet, of course. But Logan, you have another one coming out tomorrow: wide receivers and tight ends. But in the meantime, we've got two out of the way. We've got quarterbacks, we've got running backs. Talk to us about position reviews, what you're seeing so far, and what people can expect.
Yeah, so this is year 2 of it. Last year, like you said, John, and I dipped into it a little bit, but this year is definitely more comprehensive. Every week, normally on Mondays, it comes out where it's a certain position group. So quarterbacks was one, running backs was another, and tomorrow will be wide receivers and tight ends. You're putting that together. But basically it's a weekly series where you dive into each position group. It's a great place to learn about every player. I go through every single player in that group, all the way down from Cam Cook to the bottom of the depth chart on the running back, like Andre Devine. Every single player gets covered. You learn where they came from, who they are, what they bring to the table, and then even a little bit of depth chart projections. It's still early in the summer. It can be hard to really digest who's going to be the starter here and there, especially for a team like that's ran by Rich Rodriguez, who he will wait until Friday before the first game to really let out his depth chart. So, like for example, for the quarterback article really talked about the QB battle between Michael Hawkins and Scotty Fox. That's something that's going to be talked about all summer, and we're not going to know about that, who's going to be leading until the day of. But yeah, basically the position groups, just every week talking about a position group and how they're built, how they're structured, who's doing what, who can you expect to do well, be the leader of the group, and really just learning about where they came from, what they bring to WVU, and what you can expect out of them.
Exactly, and you can catch that. Usually, again, we do that on Mondays. Usually, Around the Farm will be on Tuesdays. Let's see, 30 players, 30 days every 5 days. Tail of the Tape every Friday for the next little bit. Mitch Please Fridays, every Friday around the year, around the calendar, and Edwards Editorial on Sundays, plus everything else we've got. Turning now to fall coverage beyond just our position reviews. Football has a lot of expectation. We won't go too deep into the weeds on this, but we got football with a lot of expectations. Both soccer programs still on the rise, still in national competition. Basketball's on the horizon, starting to get around that. Brendan, we'll start with you. What are you looking forward to most in terms of covering in the fall?
As far as in the fall, well, I mean, of course, football's at the forefront of everything we do for the most part, and that's the forefront of WVU athletics. And, Logan alluded to it a little bit. The quarterback conversation is going to be the topic leading into the season. Who's going to be the guy? Is it going to be Scotty Fox, or does Coach Rodriguez go with somebody else? And, I think there's just going to be a lot of questions surrounded around the team this year. Obviously, they had kind of a disappointing year last year, and everybody's going to be looking to see how Coach Rodriguez does what he seems to do every school he goes to, every place he's coached at. He usually has a rough first year, and then he has a pretty successful year the very next year. So I'm interested to see how he builds this team. We're starting to see some of the foundation that was laid almost immediately after last season was done, getting new recruits in, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be interesting to see what the final product is going to be come the first game of the season.
Trent?
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to seeing what Joy Nakot does in cross country. She, it's the beginning of a very long season for these athletes. They go cross country into indoor track and field and outdoor track and field. So it's the beginning of a long season, but she has only gotten better, and she's now entering her third season with the Mountaineers. So I'm definitely interested in what she's doing. And obviously, you got to mention football. And I was covering at the spring game, and something that stood out to me is with Scotty Fox in particular. He looked more decisive when he was back there in the pocket. Even with, obviously with his passing, but when he decided to run and tuck the ball, he wasn't hesitant about it. He did it, and it allowed him to make bigger plays in the first action that we got to see of them this year. So definitely looking forward to see who wins that quarterback battle.
And Logan?
Yeah, obviously football is exciting. You can't miss it. But aside from that, I'm looking at the men's soccer team. They're coming off a really successful season, nice NCAA tournament run. Obviously, Stratford has created this program where, we're speaking about the women's team. Stratford, a recent hire-ish. I think he was hired in 2017, somewhere around that time. He has really built this program into one of the elites in college men's soccer, and coming off a really good year. Really looking at, though, losing the leading goal scorer, Marcus Caldera, I'm really interested to see how this team is going to be able to withstand that. I mean, he was on this team very long time, one of the greatest players of all time coming out of West Virginia, and now he's gone. Now you have to rally around that, and you have a really tough schedule with teams like Marshall, Akron, and Kentucky, who all finished in the top 25 last season. So for WVU, it's not going to be a cakewalk schedule. Losing their leading goal scorer, be really interested to see how Stratford can work around that and see if they can continue that upward trajectory. And on the flip side, the women's team as well, a really good season as well last year. I think they're going to have another good year. They lost Taylor White, their leading goal scorer. However, they were able to retain their second leading goal scorer in Maddie Levy, and also keeping Anna Hauer, two midfielders who are going to lead this team, and then capped off with a goal scorer who had 6 goals last season, Abby Alexa. So I think this women's team, losing Taylor White is huge, but I think they're going to be able to pick up the pieces and continue their upward trajectory like they have for so long.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I covered a lot of women's soccer in the spring, and I mean, fall, I guess. Nikki Izzo Brown, I mean, she's the only head coach in program history. She's known for being consistent. Whether they're going to be, a world champion or not, we don't know, but they're always in the mix. So that's good. Maybe they'll get over the hump this year. Same thing with men's soccer. They're always in the mix, at least in these past 10 years. John, your final fall predictions, what are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, I mean, a big one for me is also men's soccer. I'm really invested in that WVU Marshall rivalry, and I'm looking forward to it's going to be in Huntington this year, so I'm planning to do some coverage on that when Marshall and WVU face off in men's soccer this year. But in addition to men's soccer, a couple of sports we haven't touched on yet. 2 of my most recent articles that I wrote were kind of going ahead and taking a look at the schedule for volleyball and the golf team this coming season. And I mean, golf has got a really exciting schedule, especially in the fall. They won 3 team titles last year, and in the fall alone, they're going to defend all 3 of those team titles. So a lot of tournaments they're returning to that they see a lot of great success at. So it'll be interesting to see how things go when they go to defend those titles. And the volleyball team, there's a lot of teams that volleyball's facing for the first time this year, and also for the first time in several years, the volleyball team is going to have 2 home tournaments in one season. So a lot of exciting new teams to watch the volleyball team play, in addition to some old teams that they played as well. And obviously, you've always got to look forward to the Big 12 play. So it does seem like that the golf team and volleyball will have some great games coming up this year.
Yeah, I agree a lot. I mean, volleyball has, typically struggles in conference play. They got a historic win last year against BYU. Struggled down the road, but they're showing progress, and it looks like Greeny has a good squad going in this year. So keep an eye out for them. And then the last thing I want to talk about before we sign off here, just to give you guys a look at, tell you guys about what you can catch this week. Expecting this to come out on Tuesday. We have, again, all of our series that we've talked about. Big 12 Media Day. We have Logan and Quinn. We're not traveling to it, but we will have Big 12 Football Media Day. That's going to be in Frisco, Texas. We'll have some coverage on that. The NCAA video game release, we've heard some mixed reviews, and Scotty Fox has had a makeover if you haven't seen that yet. But Logan will have something on that to expect when it comes out right at midnight, at least to the wide global release. Let's see, JJ Quinterly, Jordan Harrison, again, not the best times right now in the WNBA, but Trent's been tracking that. We'll have, again, more of our series. One of our big hitters, if you're still dying for some baseball content, MLB Draft is coming up this week. We'll have John all over that. Columns, and then position review, and we'll start breaking down women's soccer, where we'll be about a month out from the season. So that's everything you can expect in the next week. Of course, we'll be tracking the Kerr situation when we'll have that, plus any other breaking news that pops up. So we'll go around one more time. Any final thoughts and expectations for what's ahead? We'll start with Trent.
Yeah, and as we're wrapping up, I just want to plug socials one more time. Definitely follow us on Facebook, TikTok, X, YouTube, Threads, and Instagram. And Speaking of Instagram, we just crossed 1,000 followers this week. So if you're one of them, thanks for the support. We really appreciate it. And that's just one milestone for us. We intend to have many more coming in the future. So if you're not following us yet, now's a great time too, because we have content dropping every day this month, even without sports going on, counting down the top 30 players of all time for West Virginia football. So definitely check us out there and into the future as football season rolls around.
Logan?
Yeah, I mean, even though it's in these quote-unquote dead months, there's so much content that is being put on the W Sports Station, and you really want to catch it on the app store, the Google Play Store, because if you get the app, you're able to get that notification right away, and you can read these articles like right when they drop. I mean, people are very busy. You can read them wherever, if you're in the bathroom, if you're doing whatever you might be doing, I don't know, getting ready for work, whatever you might be doing, you can read the articles. Just a little note, the NCAA football article I'll be doing, that'll be a little more a fun one. But there is a cool tidbit of information that you want to know, like for W fans, is the more you use the teams in the game, you get the team in real life gets NIL. So like teams like Delaware, they were like brand new to FBS, but since so many people use the team in the video game, they got like a couple $1 million in NIL in real life. So it really is beneficial to use WVU in this video game because it can help the actual university in real life. So just be on the lookout for that. Be a little fun article. Nothing too serious, but overall, yeah, I mean, dead months, but we're still chugging along and producing good content.
John?
My mom's a big fan of the West Virginia Sports Nation app. It's Mama Bogus approved, so you should go download it and use it. But anyway, I mean, the MLB draft content that's coming up, I'm really looking forward to that. I love all aspects of baseball, whether it's college, independent, MLB, minor league. I mean, I love it all. So the fact that West Virginia Sports Nation gives me that opportunity to look at all of it and not just the college team, look at everything around baseball as a whole. We're going to keep recapping what J.J. Weatherholt's doing in the St. Louis Cardinals. He's been doing a fantastic job, so I also love getting to write those as well. So, yeah, I mean, anything baseball, I'm looking forward to it and all the great things that we talked about in the fall.
Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just keep with the same trend here. I highly recommend that people download our app and turn on the notifications. I mean, I've only done one article, I think, since I've been back from Omaha, but I have not missed a thing. My notifications are turned on. Doesn't matter if I'm at work or I'm out celebrating the 4th of July. I read everything that you guys post. Like as soon as it's published, I get a notification. I read it. It's the best way to stay up to date on everything going on with WVU athletics. And also you guys have done a hell of a job, still pushing out content during these quote unquote dead months where we don't have any sports. Everything you guys have been putting out has been great.
Yeah, we like to get creative in these dead months, as we call it. You got to strive for content somehow, and somehow we found more than maybe we wanted.
Doesn't seem like we're struggling though. We're struggling for content, it's going well.
Yeah, for sure. So, again, we're just now in year 2 of WV Sports Nation, so a lot of growth left to be had. We're still learning. We are growing by the day in terms of a staff. We have a lot of writers. We're up to 7 full-time writers. So not full-time, but guys that produce and aren't, just people that also publish as well. So very busy times. We're still growing, still learning. We're going to have a lot of coverage this fall and through the summer months, so be sure to stay with us. But I think that's all we have. So signing off, I'm Jonathan. Big thanks to Trent, Logan, Brendan, John, our overseer, Jack Fredericks, and then, of course, our publisher, John Fredericks. Big thanks to them. Big thank you to Santana and all of our photographers that have helped her out, especially in the spring. They did a great job. But other than that, thank you guys.